It is 7:52 and around town this morning. It's a great day to be at the farm.
Certainly is. And Good Day Columbus reporter Cameron Fontana joins us live at the Stratford Ecological Center with a look at what's buzzing there today.
Prophylaxis, which is where they face each other.
Hey, good morning, Pete and Maria. It is going to be a beautiful day here.
Right.
We're with Dave here at Stratford Ecological Center. Dave, what do we got lined up this morning?
Oh my gosh, we've got so much going on. We want to get in before the rain. We're going to have a look here real quick at the top bar hive that we've got, which is a new type of hive that's, well, it's an old type of hive actually, but it's gaining in popularity.
And why is that?
A lot of people are, they're concerned about the bees, and they're concerned about pollination, especially because we know that even though they're called honeybees, what we need them for is pollination.
That's their priority.
That's the priority.
Numero uno job.
If they could only do one thing for us, we want pollination over honey every day.
Okay.
And this is great for pollination. It's not a huge honey producing type of hive, but we are going to go out and look at some hives that we have honey that is capped and ready to extract.
No way.
And we might even be able to get stick our fingers right in there and get some honey straight from the hive.
Just like Pooh Bear.
That's exactly it. That's exactly
this is going to be so much fun. So stay tuned to Good Day Columbus. We're going to be hanging out with the bees this morning, buzzing around the Stratford Ecological Center. It's going to be a great time.
It is.
Yes.
It
Nice.
is.
Stay tuned. Just take a look at that, guys. Look at it. Doesn't that look cool?
Oh, wow.
Oh, he is braver than me.
Looks cool, but yeah, with my allergies, no
I
thanks.
couldn't do it.
Hey, maybe you've heard the buzz around town this morning.
Yeah, we know that Cameron Fontana has. He is live at the Stratford Ecological Center in
You can ask me questions about
Delaware.
what's on there.
Good morning, Cameron.
While I'm looking.
Hey, Maria. We are in the middle of hunting for the queen bee. Is that right, Dave?
That's right.
So we're pulling these up right now, and she's somewhere in here. And what makes her look different than the other bees?
She has a much longer abdomen. It's very extended and a rounder thorax. As Acadia, what does a queen bee look like?
An exclamation point.
She looks like an
exclamation
point going through the hive. I'm going to move over to this box and see, but Cameron, feel free to pull one of those frames out.
Okay.
And we can show you what's on these frames here. If you look right in here, this is all capped brood, which means they're pupating larvae.
Pupating.
Just like butterflies.
Is that pooping?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's just like butterflies, how butterflies go through, they spin a cocoon and pupate and become a butterfly after being a worm.
Oh.
That's what the bees are doing in here.
So I pupate like in my bed at night when I'm getting in the covers and everything?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I'm going to use that word more often, pupating. So as we're pulling these out, the queen can be responsible for more than one hive here, or I should say boxes?
More than one box. So each stack of boxes contains one queen.
That's amazing. And a lot of times within these, we're seeing like the birth of little bees too.
Yes.
And we want to sing happy, get it? Bee birthday to them. And then once they're in here, I mean, how long does a queen usually live for?
She can live, we've got a queen right over there that's 3 years old now. They can go 3, 5, maybe a little bit longer.
Wow.
Whereas most of her daughters only live a couple of months.
And I'm probably not doing a good job of finding these, but real quick, because I know Marshall's over there, he's been talking about the pollination this morning. How has the pollination, like right now in the weather, affected these bees?
Oh my gosh, it is wonderful. They're bringing in so much pollen right now. In fact, if I pull this frame up, you can see.
Look at that.
All that in there is all pollen.
Woo!
It's almost been a record year. The reason we have any honey to extract at all, we've never extracted this early before.
Yeah.
And the reason we have any is because the weather has just been so phenomenal in producing pollen and nectar.
Well, there you go, Marshall. Thank you for producing good pollen and nectar. We're going to continue to hunt for the bee. We're going to find her. She's somewhere around here.
Well, we're glad that somebody's at least happy about all this pollen out there.
Cameron Fontana is being a busy bee this morning.
That's right, he's live at the Stratford Ecological Center in Delaware this morning. Hopefully not getting stung, Cameron.
You are brave.
And then we'll eat that, yeah.
Okay. Oh, hey guys, we're talking about how we're going to eat some honey, right, Dave?
Right, and we're going to pull it right out of the hive.
Okay. So this right here, you told me, how do you know when it's ripe?
It's ripe. The bees tell us because they cap it with wax. So you see that? Now, Cameron, go ahead and just stick your thumb right in there.
Really?
And notice the color of that honey.
It's clear.
Yes.
Usually it's like honey's supposed to be yellow.
It depends on the flowers and the forage that they get it. The plants determine the color and quality of honey, and the bees just make it the same way. Go ahead. That is what Stratford tastes like.
Oh,
Right?
You have any toast?
You know what? We have even more honey right over there. Wow. Acadia and Natalie are holding it. Natalie, you want to cut Cameron a piece of that honey right
Now,
out?
why
Just a
does
big
that
chunk.
one look a little more yellow? Is it
It's
the
just
same?
an older bit of wax.
Okay.
It's just a little bit older wax. And then Natalie's just going to cut that right out. And that is fresh.
Oh my gosh. So I can just
straight,
bite into this?
You can just eat the whole thing.
How long does it take to get a whole comb of honey like that?
When the honey flows on, the bees can pull that whole frame in about 4 or 5 days.
Oh my gosh.
Then it takes them a little bit longer to fill it with honey. We're going to, at the Honeybee Festival on June 27th, that morning we're going to come out and actually harvest honey from the hives and extract it. And we are going to have 6 or 7 different beekeepers from around Ohio selling local honey. Some of it will be yellow, some of it will be darker, some of it will be lighter, depending on where it comes from.
And you told me there's even like purple honey?
There is, there's a place in the south, there's so much copper in the soil that the plants take up that copper and it turns all the honey purple.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I'm not supposed to eat the wax, am I?
No, you can absolutely eat the wax.
I can swallow it?
It's exactly. Nothing wrong with it.
Well,
it's just a little bit of fat.
Guys. I'll try to swallow the wax. Now,
I didn't know that you can
that's a
swallow
little bit
the wax.
harder to eat.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good. Not as good as the honey, but it's good. It's good. Back to you
I
guys.
just want to watch his
All
face.
right. We'll let Cam get a drink there and wash that down. Mental note: the wax
Not as tasty.
not as good as the honey.
Plus, Cameron this morning is buzzing around town. Have you seen it? Wow. What do you got, Cameron?
Oh my gosh, it's the queen bee! No, not Beyonce.
No.
What are we doing, Dave?
We are going to, we've got new queens that just emerged this morning.
Okay.
So we're going to take their queen cells out and we're going to feed them some honey.
There you
They
go.
haven't had a meal in several days.
Oh geez, so we're feeding the queen some honey next on Good Day Columbus. We'll be right back. Look at it.
Well, Cameron Fontana, he's doing what most people do on a Monday. Harvest honey is what he's doing this morning.
That sounds like every other Monday for most of us. Yes, he's live at Stratford Ecological Center up in Delaware this morning. Good morning, Cam.
Hey, good morning, guys. With me is Dave. To the right of me is Acadia and Natalie. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good. Now, these girls love bees, and I'll tell you who loves bees a lot is Dave over here.
That is right.
So these, in our hands, these are actually queens.
These are queens that we're raising here at Stratford.
Why are they caged?
They're caged because when a queen first emerges, her job is to go find all the other queens the hive is raising and kill them.
Like her sisters?
Yes.
It's like an episode of Game of Thrones or something.
It is. So we have to cage them because they don't know how to play nice together.
Oh.
But these ladies here, 16 days ago, they were an egg. Then they spent several days pupating inside that cell. So we want to get that cell out of there. And they haven't eaten for like 8 or 10 days.
Wow. And this is the cell actually right here that, who builds this?
The workers.
The workers
build that. And
The mom lays the egg on the inside.
Correct.
And then the queen gets to grow up in her own special domain.
That's right.
Wow.
And it's so much bigger than what the other bees are raised in because the queen gets fed like 400 times as much food as the workers.
That's a good lifestyle. I wish I could just be born and be fed all my life. So right over here, now we're going to feed them honey.
We are going to feed them honey. So I'll get that cell out.
Okay.
We'll put the cork back in because, like I say, her job right now is to go kill her sisters.
Oh my God.
And then just go ahead and dip that up. And she should go right after that honey because she hasn't eaten in a while. Just push it right up in there.
I'm pushing. Am I pushing hard enough, Acadia?
There, she should
Probably.
be looking for some of that honey there.
Okay, so is that enough?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She'll find that in a second. Try that with her.
Here, I'll give you that one. We'll try this one. Now, when they're making the honey, how is this helping the queen? Like, what is the queen doing with the honey? Just eating it for good?
They just feed the queen, and the more they feed her, the more eggs she lays. The more eggs she lays, the more bees they have. The more bees they have, the more honey that they can make.
Oh, look at her. She's just munching on some honey. Now, you said it's kind of like a cow where the honey, she eats it, but then it gets
They start out with nectar from the flower.
Okay.
And it just basically like a cow's stomach, how it has to go through several forms of digestion. The nectar from the flower passes through many, many, many bees' stomachs, each time getting a few more enzymes, getting a little more digested, until we have ripened honey, which we're going to feed this queen some more
Okay,
ripened
she needs
honey.
some
She's
honey, too.
She's hungry too.
Oh, this is great. So
And you can see how they go right up for that food because they haven't eaten for several days.
And what's that called when they haven't eaten for a while?
Well, they were pupating.
They were pupating.
They weren't able to come out.
If I go a couple of days without pupating, I call the doctor and I get some laxative. But coming up next, we are going to make some honey and then cap it off with some beeswax.
Yeah, we've got some honey we bottled, and so we're gonna seal it up with some beeswax, and we're gonna talk about the Honeybee Festival coming up, and there was something else we were.
I think we're gonna talk about the male bees. So
Yes.
that's all we're gonna say. More to come on Good Day Columbus. We'll be back after the break. I got a pupate now.
Well, Cameron, he is getting a taste of something sweet and natural this morning.
He's live at the Stratford Ecological Center in Delaware this morning, playing with the queen bees.
Hey, Marshall and Sean, that's right. What are they doing right now, Dave, with those bottles?
Well, we're taking some of the honey that we bottled up from the hives, and we are sealing them with beeswax from the very same hives.
So everything from the honey that you eat to the beeswax, you guys utilize in all your stuff. And you even make candles out of it, you make wax.
Everything. And lip balms at the Honeybee Festival this year. We're gonna have lip balms that are made with wax and honey from the hives here at Stratford. Special limited edition.
So let's talk about that. You have it's the Honeybee Festival, is that what it's called?
Honeybee Festival, yes.
Wow, and when is that, and what all happens during that?
That is Saturday, June 27th,
Okay.
from 10 to 4. We have got speakers coming in. This year's theme is habitat. Because the most important thing with all the problems with the bees, we had another year of almost 50% losses of hives throughout the country.
And why is that? What causes something like that?
There's a lot of factors to it. Some of the speakers at the Honeybee Festival will be talking about it, but one of the fundamental things is we need more habitat. These bees feed on flowers and pollen, and there's not enough. There's not enough around, and we're partnering with Pheasants Forever is one of our sponsors for the Honeybee Festival. And they are a huge habitat restoration and conservation organization. And Richwood Bank is our other big sponsor. And they're helping us bring in these speakers to come talk about there's some great programs right here in Ohio where they're putting in more pollinator habitat along the highways and the county roads.
That's great. And you're constantly teaching people. Obviously, today we're learning a lot of things.
Yes.
And one thing is really... It's hilarious, kind of the life cycle of a bee and how they continue to grow and make new hives. Let's go through the process. So you got the queen bee.
We've got the queen bee, and of course Acadia can help us here. She's one of my star students this year.
Okay, so what's the lifespan of a queen bee, Acadia?
3 to 5 years.
Wow. Now what about a worker bee?
A worker bee is about 42 days.
And he's telling me there's things called drones. What's the lifespan of a drone?
2 to 8 months.
And what is a drone?
A drone is the male bee in the hive.
It's the male bee. So the workers aren't the male bees. The workers are the female bees.
The workers are the female. Beehives are largely matriarchal. They are 85% female. During the mating
so the
season,
ladies do the work.
The ladies do everything.
That's awesome.
And in fact, the male bees are what we would call half a bee. They're the result of an unfertilized egg.
They don't have a dad.
They don't have a dad. They only have a mom. All their DNA comes from the queen. And they only live during the mating season.
Okay.
At the end of the summer, their sisters carry them out of the hive and kill them.
So all they're good for
Is mating.
Mating and
season.
how does that happen? Obviously, they're very small insects. How did the process?
The process is they will leave the hive every day, late afternoon, when it's starting to get really nice and sunny out there. And they will start looking for a queen. And if they find one, they'll mate with her in midair.
Like the Mile High Club?
Basically, yeah.
And then once they're done, they're dead?
They're dead. It's like the Mile High Club
I guess
with no parachute.
If you're going to go out, it's in the middle of the air, having some fun, and then you die. But
and the way they're built, once they mate, all of their insides are now outside.
Okay.
And so there's nothing left. They dehydrate and they're done.
Well,
but that's their only purpose is to mate with the queen.
Well, we've learned a lot of great things this morning, Dave. Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely.
Sean and
Thank
Marshall,
you.
we're going to throw it back to you guys. What a way to go. You're skydiving, you have some fun with your significant other, and
I don't know, all the insides on the outside thing.
That's a really bad Tinder date. That's what that is.
I'll let you know.